low carb, keto, banana nut muffins is what we're making on the channel today. And I already know what you're thinking, Joe, how are we making banana nut muffins when bananas, they're not low carb and they're not keto? Well, we're not actually going to be using bananas for these muffins. This is a banana-less keto muffin recipe. Having said that, these keto muffins do not taste low carb or keto at all. They taste just like a normal muffin, and there's tons of banana flavor. The tops of the muffins are soft and chewy. The insides are moist and cakey. These are just absolutely perfect. I can't wait to see what you guys think about this one. That being said, let's get right into it and make these keto muffins. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees, and then we have to do a little bit of prep work. As you're seeing here, we'll want to weigh out a 1/4 cup or 30 grams of walnuts, and then we're going to take a rolling pin, crush the walnuts into tiny pieces, and then set them aside for later. When we've taken care of that, the next thing we'll want to do is get out a small bowl and an entire stick of butter, which by the way is 112 grams of butter. So when we've done that, we're going to cut the butter into small pieces, add those pieces to a small bowl, and then microwave the bowl until the butter melts, which will probably take about 30 seconds. Now, while the butter is melting, we're going to get our food scale back out along with a medium-sized bowl, and we're going to start adding the liquid ingredients for our keto muffins. So the first thing we're going to add to this bowl is 3 large eggs. And then when we've added those eggs, we'll want to get our whisk and whiskify those until the yolks combine into the whites. When that's looking good, we're going to get out some full fat sour cream, and we'll want to add a 1/4 cup or 60 grams of that stuff to our bowl. By the way, don't worry about tasting the sour cream in these low carb keto banana nut muffins. You absolutely cannot taste it. The reason we're adding it though is to give our keto muffins that incredibly moist texture that every good muffin has. Anyways, the next thing we're going to add is some 0 carb keto friendly maple syrup to not only add sweetness to our banana nut muffins, but also some maple flavor as well. And for today's keto muffin recipe, we're going to add a heaping tablespoon or 20 grams of that stuff to our bowl. So now we can get the melted butter we prepared from earlier out and add that to our bowl, along with a 1/2 tablespoon or 10 grams of banana extract. The reason we're using banana extract is because this is obviously a low carb keto muffin recipe, and using real bananas would just add way too many carbs to our muffins. So instead we're going to use the banana extract because it doesn't have any carbs to give our keto muffins all the banana flavor they'll need. Anyways, the next ingredient we're going to add is going to be a teaspoon or 4 grams of vanilla extract, as well as a 1/3 cup or 80 milliliters of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. Once we've added that to the bowl, we can get our whisk back out and whisk all of our liquid ingredients together until a thick, creamy consistency develops in there and all of the ingredients have combined with one another. So now at this point, we'll want to get an even larger bowl out and start adding the dry ingredients for our keto muffins to it. The base of today's banana nut keto muffins recipe is almond flour. And as you're seeing here, we'll want to add just less than 1 3/4 cup or 182 grams of it to our bowl. By the way, I'm using blanched almond flour for my keto muffins. A lot of you guys know I really like to use this one by Kirkland's. It only has 2 net carbs per serving. And if you're interested in picking some of this stuff up, I'll leave a link to it in the video description below. Anyways, the next ingredient we'll want to get out is some confectioner Swerve. And this stuff is going to pretty much add all of the sweetness to our keto muffins without adding any carbs. Swerve has 0 net carbs, so it's one of the most ideal sweeteners you can use if you're following a low carb diet like the keto diet. And for today's banana nut muffins recipe, we're going to add 2/3 cup or around 100 grams of it. Once we've added that, the next thing we're going to add is 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and finally a 1/2 tablespoon or 10 grams of baking powder. Now we're all set to get our whisk back out one last time and whisk all those ingredients together until they're combined. So when that's looking good, we can get our wet ingredients back out, add those to the bowl, and use a spatula to slowly fold the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. By the way, halfway through folding those together, I like to add half of the crushed walnuts we prepped from earlier,
and then I'll just finish folding everything together once I've added those to the batter. So when that's looking good, we'll want to get out a 12 slotted muffin tray and add some paper liners to the tray. And the recipe makes 12 medium-sized keto muffins or 9 large keto muffins, so just plan accordingly. Anyways, we'll want to coat those paper liners with baking spray, and then we can start adding the batter of our keto banana nut muffins to our tray. Having said that, if you decide to make medium-sized muffins, you'll want to fill each slot about 3/4 the way full. But if you want to make large muffins like I decided to do, you'll want to fill them up all the way. So when we've got all the batter added to the tray, we're going to sprinkle the rest of our crushed walnuts over each one of our keto muffins. And then when we're done with that, we're going to bake our muffins for 25 to 30 minutes. And when our muffins have finished baking, we're going to let them completely cool down in the tray we baked them in. Once they do cool down though, check out how awesome these turn out. They're filled with banana flavor, they have just the most incredibly chewy crust to them, but also this perfectly moist, cakey inside that every delicious muffin has. As always, for more info on today's low-carb keto muffin recipe, check out the video description below, and I hope you like them.